What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Continuing on with the iPhone 11 comparisons, today we're actually going to be looking at the iPhone 11 Pro, the smaller variant, and comparing it to the iPhone XS Max. Now, if you see my other comparisons, this one's probably going to be super familiar. We're not going to be doing anything too crazy, a little bit of a speed comparison, we're going to hit on the cameras a little bit and all that other stuff, but this is going to be as full in depth as I can make it. But I'll be completely honest, because these phones are so different in sizes, I could probably see why people want to see, which one is the better phone between these. Now, obviously, I would imagine the 11 Pro is the faster phone. You're going to have smoother experiences with it. It's going to have better cameras, but there's also some compelling things for the iPhone XS Max that kind of make it, I guess, a better deal in a way. The 11 Pro probably is still the better phone. Like I said, there's some compelling things for the XS Max that kind of make me like it a little bit more, in my opinion. Now, looking on the outside, the iPhone 11 Pro has a 5.8-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. That display is 1125 by 2436 pixels, so it's 458 pixels per inch at the end of the day. The iPhone XS Max is 6.5 inches. That one has a Super Retina OLED display, and that resolution is 1242 by 2688. So a bigger display, but a higher resolution display just by a little bit though. But it has the same pixels per inch, so even though you're getting a bigger display, it's really the same exact display in my opinion. I will tell you though, the biggest difference between the 11 Pro and the XS Max's display is probably just the brightness. I honestly don't see that big of a difference at all. I wish there was more of a difference. I think Apple kind of hyped it up more than what it's supposed to be because it's really not that big of a difference in my opinion. So in terms of the displays, they're almost the same in my opinion. I don't see one being way higher resolution than the other one. Maybe the 11 Pros gets a little bit brighter. They both have IP68 dust and water resistance, which is really nice. In terms of Face ID, that's another pretty big upgrade between these phones. Apparently, and I've actually noticed this, going from even an iPhone 10 to an 11 Pro, I think Face ID is probably the biggest difference that I've seen. It just seems like it picks up my face a lot faster, and they say you can use it at more angles. I kind of agree with that, but at the same time I don't. There's been cases where I've been leaning back and it's been able to pick up my face, but then there's been some cases where I'm kind of a little bit closer and it's still not able to pick it up. So it's 50-50, but I think it's more accurate overall. The XS Max has Face ID obviously, but it's not that bad of Face ID in my opinion. No headphone jacks, only lightning ports at the bottom. On the back, you're going to see another little bit of difference. The iPhone XS Max has this standard glass back that if you felt any phone with a glass back, it feels pretty much like that. The iPhone 11 Pro has a frosted glass back on the back of it, so it's kind of cool, it's kind of not. I think it's kind of 50-50. I think if you had to do it, you might like the 11 Pros better. I kind of like the XS Max, but the 11 Pros is kind of growing on me now that I'm using it as a main phone, so I don't know. It's kind of cool, but it's kind of a novelty at the end of the day, but I understand why they have it because it adds a little bit more durability into your device as well. But in terms of the outside, that is pretty much it. Probably the other thing I want to hit on, there's no 3D touch, no force touch on the iPhone 11 Pro. It has haptic feedback, that force touch thing where if you long press it, just like how the iPhone XR had. The iPhone XS Max has full on force touch, which is super cool. So take it as you will, but that's a little bit about that. Now, in terms of the software, I honestly think the iPhone 11 Pro will probably outlast the iPhone XS Max by at least one version of software. So there's only one version of software different between these two because these are only 1 year apart. The iPhone 11 Pro got released with iOS 13. The iPhone XS Max got out with iOS 12. And there's really, I don't see the 11 Pro outlasting the iPhone XS Max by a couple years. It's probably only going to be 1 year. I don't think the 11 Pro is going to get that extra year support because XS devices tend to get longer support sometimes. Maybe the XS Max will get that extra year support, but I doubt it. I honestly don't know. So in terms of software, you're going to be set. I won't even worry about it too much. You're going to be perfectly fine in my opinion. Now moving on to the speed comparison route. I'll go ahead and tell you the specs and I'll just do a speed comparison right after. The iPhone XS Max has the Apple A12 Bionic chip, a hexa-core CPU, and 4GB of RAM, where the iPhone 11 Pro has the Apple A13 Bionic chip, a hexa-core CPU, and 4GB of RAM as well. There's 3 variants, the same exact storage variants on all these. They all have 4GB of RAM like I stated, so let's go and see which one is the faster one. If I had to say it like I stated, I'm pretty sure the 11 Pro is going to be the faster one, but like I said, there's been cases where I've been completely wrong, so who knows? Let's go and do a little bit of a speed comparison and see which one is the faster phone between these. Alright, welcome to the speed comparison. Believe it or not, that audio was recorded a month or two ago, and I'm just now doing the speed comparison, so I don't have those many apps. The apps that I do have, they're all cleared out here. I'm going to have to clear them out over here. Okay, as you can see, all the apps are cleared. Let's go and see which one's the faster one. Of course, the 11 Pro should technically be the faster one. Let's do Quizlet. 3, 2, 1. A little bit of stutter on the XS Max I saw right out the gate, and as you saw, the 11 Pro was the faster one. Netflix. 3, 2, 1. That one was, it was close, but the 11 Pro was definitely the faster one. That one was pretty obvious. Snake versus Blocks. 3, 2, 1. And as you saw, the 11 Pro definitely was the faster one. If we get into right here and right here, let's see if there's any big difference. And they both seem almost the same. Not that big of a... Actually, there seem to be some glitching around. Maybe I'm just seeing it. Maybe it's just my angle or my eyes. They seem like almost the same thing. Thank you. 3, 2, 1. And as you saw, iPhone 11 Pro was the faster one right there. Right there, right here. And as you can see, gameplay is going to be the same again. This is a minor app. It's not that big of a... Oh, no, I already died. Not that big of a game at all. Fruit Ninja. 3, 2, 1. 11 Pro already loaded into it. Oh, actually, the 10... And I knew it. As soon as I said that, I knew the XS Max was going to win. For some reason, the 11 Pro is stuck on loading. The XS Max is already pretty much set up for the most part. But right there, as you saw, the 11 Pro had an issue. I thought I was going to load it first, but it didn't. So don't know what happened there. Paper out 2. 3, 2, 1. And again, Paper out 2 and the 11 Pro got into it faster. Loading into it, you can see there might be a little bit... I don't know why that guy had such a huge thing. Let's see if I can... Oh, I died on both. And as you can see, again, pretty much the same thing. Temple Run. 3, 2, 1. And as you can see, even to get into there, it was faster on the 11 Pro. Actually, I think it was faster on the XS Max. I might have been mistaken. Main menu. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. I guess, I don't know. There might not be that big of a difference with this one. I kind of glitched up a little bit on both of them. And from viewing on the angle from the screen itself, it looks like the XS Max has a better looking screen. Not too sure what's going on there. Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. I do have a little bit of an older version on the Temple Run 2 here, so not too sure what's going on there. And even the 11 Pro with that little pop-up was still faster than the one on the XS Max, so kind of funny, don't know what's going on there. As you can see, eventually we get into it on the 11 Pro and eventually on the XS Max, which the 11 Pro definitely was faster there. See if there's a big difference. Not really. I already exit out of here. Let's end it off with the Real Racing 3, 3, 2, 1. And the 11 Pro did get into it faster into that boot screen. And eventually the XS Max. But, ultimately, dude, what I can say is there's quite a bit of difference between here. Even showing you the multi-core score, I can definitely tell you the XS Max isn't bad at all. And this is still bad because this is my iPhone 10 score, but I'm using it on my 11 Pro, as you guys know. But I had about a score of like 400,000 something on this one and about like 300 something thousand. But dude, even in real world use, the XS Max is still a great performer, but I do think the 11 Pro overall is a better performing device. So between these two, I definitely give the edge to the XS Max without a doubt. So that pretty much covers up the speed comparison. Let's go ahead and get back to the regular comparison right now. Wow, guys, wasn't that a crazy speed comparison? Just kidding. I do the speed comparisons after, so I don't even know which one won yet, but you guys will see and I'll know. And I'm pretty sure the 11 Pro won, but I could be wrong. Now, looking at the cameras, we have two 12 megapixel sensors on the iPhone XS Max and three 12 megapixel sensors on the iPhone 11 Pro. But all cameras on both of these phones will be able to shoot 4K videos at up to 60 frames per second. So that is a really, really cool thing. Some people might prefer the XS Max's camera, but really, some people might think the XS Max's camera is better or it's good enough or whatever, and I am right there with you. I think the XS Max's camera is very, very great, but the 11 Pro's biggest advantage is that ultra-wide sensor, which the iPhone XS Max does not have, and it will never be able to have because it's a hardware thing. It's something you have to have into the camera hardware. It's not like a software update. So without a doubt, I'll definitely tell you the 11 Pros, even if the quality was the same, it automatically wins on the iPhone 11 Pro because of that extra sensor. They can be even higher quality on the XS Max, but the 11 Pro, mostly because it is the same phone, it's the same genre, it's just an improvement. That ultra-wide sensor really does add a lot into the photos. Me personally, since using my 11 Pro the last couple weeks or last couple days, it's been like a week, I have never even used the ultra-wide sensor once except to show people that it works. So it's like a novelty, but if you use it, you use it. It's a cool little thing. So Now moving on to the battery life section, this is a little bit more interesting because the iPhone XS Max and the iPhone 11 Pro have almost the same size battery within them. So you have a 3174 mAh battery on the iPhone XS Max, but a 3046 mAh battery on the iPhone 11 Pro. So in between these, there's really not that big of a difference. It's only about like 100 something milliamp hours, which is really not that much. But the thing is that with the XS Max, it's a bigger phone. You have a bigger display that you have to power and a higher resolution display on top of that. So I could totally see how the XS Max would probably not last as long as the iPhone 11 Pro, which is in a smaller form factor. So between those, I mean, I don't think there's going to be a crazy difference between them, but I would probably give the edge to the iPhone 11 Pro because it is in a smaller form factor. Even though it has a little bit of a smaller battery, it's not that big of a difference for me to say the XS Max is automatically going to win. I will tell you the 11 Pro Max will definitely outlast the iPhone 11 Pro, but the XS Max will not outlast the iPhone 11 Pro in my opinion. Now that kind of covers up everything I wanted to hit on. To be completely honest, I will tell you the iPhone 11 Pro is the better phone in every direction you look at, but the XS Max, like I stated, does have some really cool things about it. The two main things are the size. Some people might prefer that bigger size. I'm starting to kind of like that bigger size. I don't know if I want to switch to an 11 Pro Max. I just switched to my 11 Pro and I don't feel like switching phones again, but the iPhone XS Max is a bigger size and I really do like that bigger display. But another really cool thing about the XS Max is the price tag. It's not at that full 1,000 or 1,100 it was anymore. It's like 700 something now in the used market. So I'd probably recommend people, if you want a cheaper phone with a bigger body, go for the XS Max. But if you want the best phone you can get right now in terms of iPhones, the 11 Pro is probably the best way to go. So that's pretty much it. I'll leave the cheapest XS Max that I find on Amazon and link it straight down in the description below so you guys can get it straight from there. If you have any questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it would mean so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel, all those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. And hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.